There you are, waking up, guys. Welcome back to Leveling Up. It is another beautiful morning, and I have something really amazing for you today. We're going to be talking about the distance going from your head to your heart. You're like, wait a second, that doesn't seem very far. But when you are talking about transformation, we're talking about making a massive impact in who you are and what you can become. This is the transformation that we're going to be talking about today and how you can get benefits exponentially when you go the final percent in your life. Now, who is it that I know that goes the final percent in their life? Rocco and Jami. They are phenomenal examples from our community, and they're people that I absolutely love. I want to introduce them to you because not only do I love these guys, they are such bright spirits. They're also infinity coaches with me. They understand these principles and they've implemented it into their life over and over and started to become more and more. So welcome to the call, guys. I'm so grateful to have you. Just love you more.
We accept.
We accept.
And love you more right back. I know we broke the rules, but I don't care. Sometimes you have to do that.
Right.
Thank you so much for having us, Brigham. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is such a pleasure to have you guys. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then we're going to get into this idea of distance from head to heart. Every single one of us want to go that distance. We want to go the distance, but we have to make some specific implementation into our life. So tell us about your background and we'll get right into that.
So I'll go first. My background is I am from a rural town in South Dakota, about 300 people. I grew up on what is now a 70-year-old regenerative farm and ranch. So my grandfather, who is still 98 years old and in and out of a tractor every single day, works side by side with my parents and both my brothers and their family. So I grew up in agriculture, grew up learning how to take care of the land, be a steward of the animals, and really operate in a family business dynamic.
Love it. Okay, Rocco, you're up.
I'm kind
Tell
of
us about yourself. Give us Rocco's modern life, buddy.
Opposite end of the spectrum. I'm born in New York, downstate, like born in Staten Island. Lived there until I was about 10 years in New Jersey. I'm now coming up on 20 years in Colorado in January, or it'll be 21. Yeah. So I think 21 years in Colorado. I turned 21 in Colorado. So that gives you an idea of how old I am. And, you know, I dropped out of a couple of different colleges, 4 colleges in 3 states, like I was going for some sort of record. Worked in bars and restaurants, taught snowboarding, had a lot of fun in my 20s and became an entrepreneur by 30. Got in the real estate space. I sold cars for a little while and sold credit card processing. That's where I met my wife in that office. She was selling HIPAA compliance, same owner, different businesses, same building. And got into the entrepreneur space around 30 years old. We're coming up on 10 years fully self-employed, my wife and I. I mean, 5 years, I think, the two of us, both self-employed. So, you know, I started to do some work in the real estate space, invested in a coaching program, you know, come to this free event and have free dinner. And then it was, all right, well, come to this few $100 weekend event. And then this tens of thousands of dollar coaching program. And we were bought hook, line, and sinker. I did about 50% of the work, implemented about 50% of the processes and procedures, and lost 100% of borrowed money. But you know, it was definitely a great lesson about going the final percent. You know, and you know, we were discussing before the call. You know, we are personal self-development junkies, right? And I mean that in the best possible way. The best advice I ever got from a previous mentor was, you're not going to get everything from just the one. And you know, it's kind of like a buffet. Like, you read a book and you might get a nugget or two. Sometimes it's on the last page and you've read 150 pages of like, really? And you're like, there it was. But you know, and you know, like, we are probably multiple 6 figures into various coaching programs together. Since we've been together, I started doing some reading and personal reflection before Jami and I met, and then we met and we just dove into coaching. We got business coaches, real estate coaches, fitness coaches, spiritual coaches, life coaches.
We had all the coaches.
We had all the coaches. And I have to say, my mentor that shared that you don't get everything from one source. I have to say, as of today and through the final percent, he's wrong. But there is only one there can only be one. There's only one that I have found, that we have found, and we have the credible experience of sampling the buffet of professional self-development and personal self-development, and the final percent through the infinity model, through their coaching modalities, the truly holistic approach, the infinite loop of personal growth with all 4 pillars: personal, professional, vitality, and community. There's nothing like it. And you know, we're in for life here.
Absolutely. Lifers, and we're life best friends too, which is awesome, because we don't like to just do cool things, guys. We like to do cool things with cool people. And this is going to be one of those experiences where you're going to look back and like, wow, that was a transformative experience. One of the farthest distances you will ever travel is that distance from your head to your heart.
Yeah.
So Jami, I'm going to ask you this question. How did you have the final percent and this experience go from your head to your heart? Because that can be a really big traveling experience, and it takes some time to figure it out. So let's hear your experience.
Yeah. So, you know, as entrepreneurs, as human beings, we go through this evolution of growth and development. And we get connected to different resources, to different opportunities, and connecting your head to your heart has been one of the biggest lessons in my personal growth journey. And again, as a human and also as an entrepreneur, really having that understanding of those 2 resources in your life and in your businesses, and how those resources and the connection between the 2 can actually create harmony, superpowers, just like it's a catalyst, right? Because what we do as human beings, whether it's in our life or in our business, there's challenges that come along with that, right? And so when we're able to really understand, you know, this is something that needs more of my heart to make this decision versus more of my head to make this decision, we really then start to serve others and ourselves at a much higher level. The growth opportunities start to open up. I truly believe that the way in which you attract others and surroundings, and this is probably the reason we fell into TFP, because quite honestly, as Rocco said, you know, most entrepreneurs, we started our businesses and we had some guidance and we gained a lot of traction, and, you know, we would take big steps forward and we'd have losses and we'd take, you know, we would recover from them and move forward again. And that connection between our head and our heart is what kept us moving. And it's really what kept us hungry and curious for more growth and development. And stepping into TFP was literally a divine intervention. I think there's a big faith component when you're talking about the connection between your head and your heart. And when we stepped into TFP, it was, you know, via invitation of someone we all know and love, Bernard and Jami Kissingbing. And there was a lot of resistance, specifically for me, because we had spent, you know, in the 6 figures on coaching and development for people to coach us in these quadrants of our lives, but never create any harmony between those quadrants.
Well
said. And that's what TFP did, right? It was, they were like, okay, cool. You want to be an entrepreneur and you want to be a good community member and you want to be a good spouse and a good human and you want to have health and wellness and vitality. Well, they're all intertwined. And TFP was the first organization that really organically linked that together for us. And we were craving it. We were praying for it. We needed it. We innately needed it because we knew that with that type of dynamic in our personal growth journey, we were going to be able to compress decades into days, and we were going to be able to serve at a higher level and grow our businesses far beyond any expectation or any dreams that we really had. And that, again, is faith, right? So that connection between the 2 has to really start for us from a faith standpoint. Yeah.
Excellent. Faith is such an important topic. One of the things that I wanted to talk about with this is the idea of distance. I've heard it brought up many different ways, but if you have someone that is brand new and they really want to get great results in business and they have never made $1 as an entrepreneur, that is very different than someone that's made hundreds of millions of dollars wanting to double or triple their outcome.
Mhm.
And we take people wherever they're at and help them get to where they want to go. It's not something that has to be like you start with nothing and then you get to where you want to go overnight, because that's lunacy. Nobody gets there
No.
overnight. But to be an
The overnight success was 20
Oh,
years.
man.
Let's all admit it.
20 years, maybe 30 years. But the thing that you do want to look at is you are extremely successful in one quadrant. Like for me, faith is such a huge element of who I am and what I do and how I operate. And I have a wonderful family. I'm so grateful for them. So a lot of times in my personal life, I'm like, oh, I can definitely coach people from that experience and that depth of love and commitment. Whereas if I'm going to be coaching someone in business, I want to help people that are at my level or below my level. And this is something that's really essential when you're talking about being in integrity and being able to help someone go from where they are to where they want to go, to where they want to go, and taking them from one place to the other. So let's talk about transformation and how you take someone from wherever they are to where they want to go, but also separating that money from time, because that's a big thing
Yes.
for all of us. We'll let Rocco go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So, to get from where you are to where you want to go, it takes consistency,
Yeah.
right? And Bernard had a great speech. You know, big shout out to Bernard. Consistency, not contingency. A lot of people think if this happens, then I'll do this, right? Talking about distance, right? When I get there, then this will be possible. Well, that's wrong, right? It's an incorrect way of thinking, and it's been proven even in our experience. Doing one of my favorite things is doing the basics really well over and over again. So doing the basics really well, consistency, I'll get it right. Need more coffee. It's still early. That's what's going to get you to where you want to go from where you are. It's not when I get this big deal, then I'll do this. When the big windfall happens, then I'll act this way. When I get into better shape, then I'll work out more. Well, that's I'm going to use faith, if I may. Our pastor, we go to another denominational Christian church, and he was like, several months ago, he said, you don't get clean before you go in the shower, right? Can I come to church if I'm a sinner? Can I come to church if I smoke marijuana? Can I come to church if I have a horrific past with drug abuse or whatever it may be? And then he was like, yeah, that's exactly why you go to church.
That's why you go to church.
It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same concept with growing your business.
Yeah.
You don't get successful and then you're going to become successful. You show up and you show up every day. You maintain faith. You come from a place of integrity and you do the basics really well, consistently, and that's how you get from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah, the if then formula is the if then formula is something that we have been conditioned to believe, and it's actually counterproductive to our progress, to our growth, right? To live and be in every single moment as an entrepreneur, as a human being, and understand that this is just part of my journey, this is part of my growth, gives you the ability to have some grace, right? Maybe the highway between the head and heart is grace, right? Maybe what we need to do is really understand that if we can give others grace, it gives us the opportunity to stay in curiosity, right? So there's always so much more growth when we stay in curiosity, and to then learn and grow and experience things that we maybe never would have even thought about because we're not curious. So it really does start with grace, faith. All of it is connected.
It's all interconnected. I wanted to talk about the difference between not just identifying the problem, but identifying how you will get there and then what your focus is while you're working on this. We read a book together called The Gap and the Gain. Do you remember this main principle of not, oh, how far do I have? How big is that gap? Rather than What have I gained in this process? Let's talk about Gap in the Gain. Go ahead.
It's such a great book. It was really a revolution in our mindset, especially when you have those hard days, or the deal that goes sideways, or the partner that didn't perform, or the family disagreement, or the spousal disagreement. Like, we have to consistently think about how far have we come in our communication, so when that bad day happens, it's not a bad week or a bad weekend. It might be a difficult or uncomfortable hour, when a year ago, 2 years ago, it might have been a long weekend of discomfort in our home. Same thing with business. That deal goes sideways. Well, what about all the experience, knowledge, connections, communication, jobs we created, people that we paid, homes that we beautified in our flipping business? When the house doesn't make as much money, or doesn't sell as fast, or goes over budget, we can get stuck on that gain, that gap of like, oh my God, if I had made $100,000 on this deal, I could be somewhere else different. If then, right? Instead of being like, man, we had learned so much about better accounting practices, better accountability for our subcontractors, better market timing, better comparative sale analysis, better construction practices. We learned all of that stuff, despite we broke even or lost a little bit of money.
So it's an opportunity to frame, right? We talk about framing and really putting things, think of it this way: switch your lens, the lens in which you view your businesses, whether it's a win or a loss. Greg, the founder of the Final Percent, Dr. Greg Gimple, he said to us recently, he was like, stop. He said, stop licking your wounds and start celebrating your battle scars. Right? Stop licking your wounds.
What should go on the gym wall.
And start celebrating your battle scars. And again, we live in this comparative reality, which pushes us in that like gain mindset, right? So if we can give ourselves some grace, connect your head and your heart, and really understand that a lot more decisions that we need to make or should be making for our businesses, should is a shame word. So we need to make for our businesses need to come from the heart more than they do the head, right?
Which is faith.
Yeah,
in
which
my
is
opinion,
faith.
like when I said you read my mind, that's exactly what I'm saying. The heart is faith-based.
When we live in this comparative reality with social media and there's such a stigma around age. Okay, I'm 45 years old. I'm going to be 46 on Monday. Like, maybe I should be further in my career. Maybe I should, where is there a book that someone's checking that I'm not meeting the expectation of my life, of my journey? I created it, right? We create that reality. We create those stories. We put them on autoplay in our heads. And what that does is that prevents us from meeting our true potential. Another book that we all love is Outwitting the Devil, right? If you have not read it, stop, go now.
Another Sharon Lecter.
Sharon Lecter,
Napoleon Hill,
who's part of our community. Go read Outwitting the Devil. That book single-handedly sparked an internal revolution in my headspace, right? Because again, coming from a very strong, faith foundation, there's three people in mine and Rocco's relationship, God and the two of us, right? And that's the foundation of who we are. And everything else stems from that. Reading that book in a moment where we were in a time in our lives where we were, rebranding companies, we were realigning strategies, it really helped me understand all of the negative forces that are around us, that if we allow them, can debilitate what our true purpose in life really is.
Keeping us focused on the gap instead of the gain.
Yeah. And that's to your point, Brigham, that is that huge importance of this distance between the head and the heart. And when we can narrow that distance, we fall into our purpose, and we get to live a purposeful life. We get to live it feels good, right? It feels natural. You don't feel in your heart like you're doing something that you're maybe not supposed to do. And it's just, surrounding yourself with that community, right? Like I probably would have never read that book if I didn't go to the Totality event in April in Denver and meet Sharon Lechter.
Yeah.
So it's really who you surround yourself with, and trust your intuition, trust your instinct, trust your heart. If we could get back to really living more in our hearts versus our head, I think we'd be financially free. I know we'd be healthier. Like physically, emotionally, spiritually. And so that's a big focus in everything we do.
That's absolutely right. One of the things you bring up that I know you guys are just experts at is helping push power to power, helping get in proximity to people that make you want to be better, do better, think higher level thoughts, and really get to that point where it's not about just what's going on. It's about the real relationships, the community. Talk to us about your experience in having that proximity during your 8-week transformation with Greg. How did that impact you? Tell me a little bit about what your results were and the gap versus the gain of that experience.
Yeah.
Well, the 8-week transformation is such a phenomenal experience. Again, we've had nutritionists, we've had fitness coaches and personal trainers. We've done the things. The resources put together by Dr. Greg Kimball, and we cannot leave out Rebecca Hastings, who's kind of spearheading that process. Greg's executive assistant, chief of staff, her role changes daily. She started off as the nanny.
Yeah, as it should.
On her way into like FBI training.
She's a powerhouse.
Yeah, she's such a badass.
She operates from her heart, for sure.
Yeah, she's so good. I mean, I was literally texting her during my workout this morning. I was like, hey, is this seeming right? Am I reading this right? And she's like, oh, I'll check it. Oh, we're all good. Here's the deal. Like 6:30 this morning, right? And I know she drove overnight to Vegas with Greg to go to an event. So like, that's the type of proximity we have. I mean, I was fortunate to have a conversation with Greg in his driveway yesterday for like an hour, just to be able to talk about the possibilities, the resources, supplementation, nutrition, cadence, style of workout. I mean, the results are uncanny for me. I know Jami has had great results. I'm down 15 pounds in the first 8 week. We're in week 1 of the second 8 weeks. Spoiler alert, they're going to keep running this program. Right?
Yeah, so get on
board. And it's going to continue to evolve. And even in round 2, there's already been a level up. See what I did there? So they've got TFP Fit. It's got its own branded app. And it's the workouts come in every week. We can track everything. Our macros are in. Our freaking scale at home goes into the app. Our weight training's in the app. Our cardio's in the app. It's unbelievable. I'm down 15 pounds. My body fat on the InBody scan, which is very similar to a DEXA for those that are familiar. Our gym happens to have the InBody scan, and it's free. So I went from 19% body fat to 12% body fat in the first 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I gained over 5 pounds of muscle through the InBody scan in the first 8 weeks. Sweet. And some people being myself, the accountability was tough, right? But having the community, which supercharges everything, right? To help, again, it supercharges my vitality. The business and professional opportunities that I'm getting because I'm a part of TFP community, supercharging my professional life. The tools and tricks and tips and tactics and language communication skills I'm getting for our marriage and business partnership. Yeah. Again, personal, all supercharged by the community through TFP. Again, the 8-week transformation, the results are amazing. Jami, please share some of your results.
Yeah, so the 8-week transformation, there's a tremendous amount of accountability. And there's really no gray, right? Like you're either doing it or you're not doing it. And there's a lot of consistency. The community was huge, right? And again, as a soon to be 46-year-old woman, it's not easy to lose weight. It's not easy to build muscle. I was able to lose 10 pounds on the scale, and I increased my muscle density by 6 pounds. So that was amazing. And it's
so you got more muscle density gain
Yes.
than Rocco. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So like do that, man.
attaboy, girl. Attaboy. That's awesome.
Yeah, what's really cool about it is, we tracked so much information, so much data, nutritionally, physically, emotionally, and what we were able to do, right? The first eight weeks, we took our before picture, and then at the end of the first 8 weeks, we took our after picture, and that became the new before, right? So we're the next 8 weeks when we finish that, that's the new before. The next 8 weeks, this is not a 8 week fix. It's an 8 week opportunity to create new habits. It's an 8 week opportunity to associate yourself with a community like Rebecca, like Greg. Eileen Gallagher was in it. She's our resident local doctor and nutritionist. Chef was in it. So Stephen Moody.
Yeah.
He was sending.
He crushed.
He did crush. He was sending everybody recipes. Eileen was giving people, help and tips and tricks on how to do things as well. And what was most impactful to me is like the skills that I learned through that 8 week period. I get to keep those. Like you can't put a price tag on that. Those are mine forever. Now, if I choose to deploy them throughout my life, that's also my responsibility. It's so much easier for us to deploy that inside this community, right? Because we're either an example or a warning, right? So I'm standing and surrounded by so many beautiful examples, like gonna level up.
You got to level up. Now, one of the things that you brought up that I think is absolutely essential is at the end of your 8 week transformation, you went from that before and after. For now, your after picture is your before picture. If we talk about consistent and never ending improvement, that's what my podcast is all about. Leveling up is not just, hey, I'm better than X, Y, or Z person. You are saying, am I better than me yesterday?
Exactly. I literally typed that in the chat this morning because Dale, who crushed it, he posted his first badge for like max weight or new records. So shout out to Dale. This is his first round of the Jami transformation, and he said, "Oh, I'm not where you're at, Rocco, but I'm doing great." I said, "Dale, as long as Dale today is better than Dale yesterday, that is all that matters. You are crushing it, man."
So too often, this is the gap in the gain concept, right? Too often we focus on all of the losses or bad choices that we've stacked, right? What if we really put our energy, our heart into compounding wins? What if we focused on all the wins that we stacked? How would that shift, the energy around us, the energy we put in the world? What would we attract if we did that? If we just simply, all right, there's two sides to every coin. Greg talks about all the time, like faith and fear. You have to pick one, right? Which side of the coin?
Yeah, you can't live in both at the same time.
No, you can't. Which side of the coin are you going to put your energy into? Are you going to believe in? Are you going to believe that everything is going to go wrong and the world's going to blow up and the blah, 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 which is what we're being fed, right? We're being fed that information through social media, maybe through conversations you're having with people you're associating with. Like, think about that a little bit.
Think about your community.
Think about your community. But what if we focus more on faith? What if we focused more on, let's look at all the wins that we've stacked up until this point, and imagine like, okay, cool. Rocco and I, we're entrepreneurs. We've had our losses. We've never defaulted on a loan. We've always honored all of our commitments. We've produced products and put them to the market that we are so proud of, to the point where some people might have cut corners and just like threw something out there and crossed their fingers and hope nobody saw it. One of those deals. But like, no, we're doing things the right way. So as these larger and bigger opportunities come to us, we're prepared for that. I remember the first time we took a financial loss. We were sitting at my parents' kitchen island. Both my mom and dad were there. Again, part of a 5-generation ranch. And I probably turned white because I'm a numbers person. And my dad looked at me and he was like, "Are you okay?" And my mom was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, we just saw our first loss. We just lost money on our first project." And we looked at
and there was a lot of money.
and there was a lot of
It was
money. Yeah,
it was
it
a
was six
six-figure
figures.
loss.
And we looked at them and we were like, "Did you guys ever lose money?" And they laughed
They
at
laughed
us.
at us.
They both like audibly laughed at us.
Yeah.
And
like,
then
like not LOL, like
Yeah.
belly laughed out loud in front of us,
Yeah.
in our face.
yes. And these are two people that we both respect. Obviously,
Absolutely.
love them a lot. They're my parents.
I love them too.
They probably love him more than me at this point, but love them so much and also respect them professionally, right? Like you
100%.
don't get to a 70-year farm and ranch without doing, you
The
know,
work.
taking risk, doing the work, you know, celebrating your celebrating your battle scars, right? And they told us, they're like, go buy another house.
Yeah.
Go
do
get another
deal.
project.
Yeah, keep going.
Like you only lose if you quit.
So good.
You only lose if you quit. Yeah.
Again, also back to gap in the game. What did we learn there? We
Yeah.
learned what we're not going to tolerate in business partners. We learned what we're not going to tolerate in vendors.
Yeah.
Because again, we could blame and point fingers, right? If you're a fan of Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, another phenomenal book. I signed up my name on the lines for those loans for that property. It's my fault we lost money. It's our fault we lost money. It's not the subcontractor that didn't perform. It's the leadership didn't lead effectively to help to guide that subcontractor to perform. It's not that the partner didn't show up and check on the property as planned. We didn't hold our partner accountable to the things that he said he was going to do. That goes back to us. So that's Extreme Ownership. Jocko Willink, another phenomenal book to add to your roster. But like,
Well,
yeah,
and
what did we learn? We learned how to what partners we will and won't have.
Extreme ownership equals extreme growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let me add this really quick. I think one of the biggest elements of what we're doing here is we're helping people increase their awareness. If we have awareness, it will impact every single element of our life because now we can do something with it.
Yeah.
If we're not aware of the distance we have to travel because we haven't defined where we want to go.
Yeah.
It is so frustrating to try and figure out what you're doing. But as soon as you understand, well, this is where my goal is, I have that destination, my objective is very clear, and it's a true core desire of what I want. And then you look at where you are and you are brutally honest with saying, you know what, this is where I'm at today. You can now start making progress. And in Mandarin, there's an expression, if you're not progressing, you're digressing.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start realizing I'm going to move forward on this, I'm going to get a little bit better today than I was yesterday. Just like you said with Dale, I'm a little better Dale than I am yesterday. Today, I'm a little better than I was last week.
Yeah.
And I looked at where I was last June when I was 250 pounds. I was struggling to get into my morning routine of exercising. I was exercising maybe twice a week pretty consistently, but the loss of my mom, having all of those frustrations with my business not working super well, I was just in a rut. And I went to Detroit with the Final Percent Network. I had a quick tactical transformation, and it's not like everything shifted immediately for me. What it was it gave me awareness that I not only can do this, but I must do this.
You want to do it.
I wanted to do it so bad. I wanted to get better, and I wanted to be healthier, and I wanted to have my voice get out there and create stories that were meaningful and impactful and interview people. And you know what? Over the last year, I've almost tripled my experience with my podcast. I used to only do it on Zoom. It was okay. The conversations were great, but I have exponentially gotten better. I've leveled up every single week, and I'm getting better because of the conversations I'm having, the books I'm reading, the people in our community. And when you get to that next level, you can start to bring people up with you.
Yeah.
It's made such a massive difference. I went and I almost dropped 45 pounds over a 99-day period. And what's crazy, guys, I've kept most of it off.
That's awesome.
All the other programs I ever did, it was you work really hard for 30 days and you gain all the weight back. You work really hard for 30 days and you gain it all back. You're like, oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I had a similar story this week, right? So I did a tactical transformation in Wyoming, and it had a lot to do about my fear and scarcity relationship with money. This month has been challenging for us. We've had some real estate deals fall through. We've had some construction contracts that haven't quite closed yet. And Tuesday or Monday, I had a conversation with someone who like just came at me about, are these the right decisions for you? Is this where you should be? Is this what you should be doing? Like instilled all this toxic doubt in my head. And to your point around awareness, like I slipped back into this really negative space, and that loop of negativity and toxicity and doubt and fear, man, it turned on in my brain and I couldn't get it off. Like, no kidding. I went to bed and just repeated prayers in my head until I fell asleep because I was like, this is insanity. Like, I don't really believe any of this. Why can't I get it to shut off? And Rocco brought something to my attention the next day because I woke up the next day, we got in the gym, we stayed consistent, we did our daily things, our CDAs, we did all of the stuff that is continuing to push us forward. And my awareness just like, it was like a light bulb. I turned this awareness on of like, oh, wait a second. You've already healed this part of you. This part of Jami is okay. This part of Jami, this fear and doubt, like you've healed that wound. Yeah. We're good.
Slow month doesn't equal death.
Exactly. And it was so great to have a partner in my life that was like, hold on, what about this? And to just have some accountability, have good community. I had a wonderful conversation with my mom. I reached out to her. She, like, again, biggest cheerleader for what we're doing. She's, you have those built in sometimes. But yeah.
Not always.
Yeah, not always, but like we're fortunate. We do.
We are, but I mean, there's a time where your mom was like, go get a job. Go back to South Dakota. And you were like, yeah, that's not really in line with what's in my heart.
Yeah.
And where I feel I need to be. And through our teachings in TFP, the communication that you've had with your mom was like rah, rah, rah for you yesterday or 2 days
ago.
I
think she sees in me that I'm really living in my purpose and that most days I'm super happy. Like being an entrepreneur is hard. Anybody who tells you it's easy, like, no, they're literally lying to you. It's one of the most difficult things we've done. It's also one of the most rewarding things we've done. Right. So having that awareness is a superpower in itself, because when you have that awareness, you're able to make choices around that awareness to put yourself in the places around the people that you want to be. You are able to become a force multiplier, right? Through that awareness.
Now, force multiplier, this is something that Greg brought to my attention. A force multiplier, if you are timesing it by no other people, if you times anything by zero,
it's
zero.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Around other people.
Yeah.
To be a force multiplier, that means you are associating, you're having conversations, you're connecting with people. Just like you guys online, we are going to be helping each other as we connect ideas. These types of conversations can become catalysts. Yes. And a force multiplier comes by association. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a preacher with no congregation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it really is the community that you surround yourself, right? Because you can force multiply in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So when it's a strong force. It's a
negative. I read it recently. I'm sorry to cut you off, but the compounding negativity accelerates faster than compounding positivity.
Yeah.
So it's so important that people like Jami and I, like Brigham, like the Goldners in their podcast we were just on, Craig.
We're literally sitting. Hold on. We're literally sitting in Eileen's house right now because we have a really busy day. We had to get our workout in. We live 40 minutes from town. And I texted Eileen last night. I was like, hey, we got to be from the gym into Brigham's podcast. Like,
an appointment in Denver after that.
She was like, come over, do it in my house.
Yeah.
Like, these are people who want you to be successful. Yeah. Right. So align yourself with force multipliers that are also
pushing positivity.
Yeah. Leading from their heart, pushing positivity, really stepping into their purpose. Like, does everybody wake up and know their purpose? No. We have a few nephews that were really fortunate, and we've had this conversation with our nieces. Our 21-year-old nephew woke up and 3 feet from his purpose. right? He was born 3 feet from his purpose. His purpose in life is to be a steward of the land and the animals. And that kid was born on Raven Angus Ranch, 3 feet from his purpose. And he is living it like it's beautiful. He's married. He has 2 boys. It's amazing how he is a steward. Now he has 2 sisters who were not born 3 feet from their purpose. And they got to go out in the world and really, sample. What are they going to do? Who are they going to marry? What are they, and that's exciting. The way in which we look at that opportunity is so exciting. I'm so excited for Lincoln. I love that kid to death. And
That's our oldest nephew.
And his 2 sisters, Libby and Presley, if you're watching, shout out.
And thanks for watching.
We're so excited to see what they're going to do in this world, right? So instead of being like, oh man, why not?
Yeah, why not me? Why not this? Why not that?
Yeah.
How about why not try something?
Yeah.
Why not do something different?
Yep.
Why
Yeah.
why not take the chance?
And here's the cool thing. Libby's literally prepping for her real estate exam. She works for and is associated with one of the best real estate brokerages in Sioux Falls or in Spearfish, South Dakota. And Press is a freshman at SDSU, my alma mater. So I'm so excited.
South Dakota State, not San
Yes.
Diego, everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
So,
other SDSU.
again, they're going to be force multipliers because of who they're associating themselves with. And also all of those kids have a really, really strong faith. They have a really, really strong faith in God.
Wonderful. I think we have definitely hit so many different elements of this idea of distance. Closing the distance. We are reading a book right now. It's called 3 Feet from Gold
Yes.
by Chad Reed. I was just texting with him yesterday.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm asking for him to endorse my book. He's like, absolutely. Now that I've endorsed it, go make it something
Yeah.
big. Because one of the things that's in that book is when he was struggling financially, mentally with his relationships, he went and he asked for help, like that open hand. Hey, I need help. And he got a letter of recommendation from the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Yeah.
And that gave him access, opened some doors
Yes.
to connect with more and more people.
Yeah.
What's crazy is your story can absolutely increase your confidence. And one of the stories that I want to create, not just for you, but for everyone, is you can do this. You can close the distance on your dreams as long as you know what they are. You have that purpose and it's clear. And you're like, this is what I want. As soon as you understand what you want, you have that clear objective. Now you have to get into action and you have to say yes to your possibilities. You have to move forward and say, I'm going to close that distance, even if it's only 1% today. It might only be 3 feet.
Yeah.
And if we don't quit until we get it, we will get it.
Yeah.
Because quitting isn't something we want to do. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to get that level at the end of the 8 weeks like you guys did. And then that's our new standard.
Yeah.
Greg said recently, our job is like to create the highest possible ceiling we can, and that will be the next generation's floor.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's what I love about what you do and how you coach, Brigham, is our stories are important. Hey, everybody watching, your story is important. It deserves to be told, not only for you to share it with the world, but the world needs it, right? Like too often, and this is again, compliments to you, Brigham. So many people are afraid to tell their story, and that's why you're here, right? You're here to help coach people to tell their story because there's value in that story. It doesn't need to be shame or embarrassment. Stepping out into the world and telling people, yeah, we've lost $250,000 in real estate investments, and it's taken us several years to build that back up. Like, that used to be such a shameful thing for me to say. And I'd be like, Rocco, stop telling people that. They're going to think that we don't know what we're doing. But that's why we know what we're doing. It's why we're able to make really good decisions when we're investing other people's money. So stepping into a coach like Brigham and having him help you tell your story with confidence is really important, right? Understanding that our story is important, your story is important, your story is important. And because somebody, maybe not everybody, but somebody's going to listen to this podcast today, and it's going to be just enough of a spark for them to take the next step and then the next step. And hey, look what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're compounding wins. We're leveling up.
Or be inspired.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know who needs to hear your story today to be inspired to get through their hard time, their loss, right? Like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that lost $5,000 and is beating themselves up over it and think they're a failure. And maybe this story helps you realize you have to keep going and do that next deal or try the next thing. I mean, we tell people, we have some people we're associated with through the final percent. We tell them we lost $250,000 and they're like, that's it?
Yeah,
we lost $2 million.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
cute. I'm down $2 million on these deals.
And you know what? If we wouldn't have shared that, we wouldn't be able to have a conversation with those type of people to, again, compress decades into days.
Those people are willing to help.
Yeah.
We're willing to help. If you lost $100,000 and you want to learn how to get on it, to get ahead of it and beat it and keep going, reach out to us.
Yeah.
You know,
we're really passionate about helping people, not only in their businesses, but also like you have to start with all 4 pillars. And that's why the infinity model, like I remember it coming up on the screen the first time at a totality event. And I was like, this is exactly what I've been talking about that I knew I didn't need or that I didn't know I needed, right? Like this was the piece of me that was just like disconnected because we were doing all this growth and we'd have like our nutritionist tell us to sleep more and our business coach tell us to get up earlier and
our fitness coach to push harder.
Yeah. And it was like, what? There was so much disconnect between the various experts that we were shelling money out to help us move the needle in our business. And in reality, it didn't. And when we stepped into the final percent, we were able to, again, that infinity model, that loop it's an organic compass of life, right? And we can go into this forever, but if you haven't looked at it, like get online, research it. There's local events, there's local masterminds.
Go to thefinalpercent.com/Britton Black. I'm
It's
happy
right
to have
on
the
the
conversation.
Please go there.
Check it out.
Get curious about it. Get in your heart and get curious about it. But this is truly a tool that is helping people understand how to show up, how to be, how to do, and then have, right? So It's a great compass.
Well, let me just say thank you so much, Jami and Rocco. You guys are rock stars. I appreciate all of the things that you do, but even more, I appreciate who you are because you show up, you are clear, you're articulate, and you love this community, and it shows in your eyes, in who you are. So thank you so much for not just delivering great content, which this was transformational, guys. It was so good, but being great examples instead of just warnings. There's so many people that live their life and you become a warning because you're like, oh, I definitely don't want to be like that person, but I want to be like Rocco and Jami. They're crushing it in life and business and so many things. So thank you so much for who you are. Love you guys so much. And that distance, if I can take this and summarize it for everybody, that distance from your head to your heart, it really does come with your community. It's that holistic approach. Jami was bringing up this idea of the infinity model. I talk about it almost every single podcast because everything you do impacts every other thing that you do, who you are. Your personal life will impact your profession. Your professional life will impact your vitality, or how we recharge, and your vitality will impact your community. It's all interconnected. Every single time you level up one level of your life, you now give permission to the other areas of your life to get a little better. So once again, thank you so much, Jami, Rocco, for being here. That's it for this week. We'll see you next Thursday, guys. It was such a wonderful opportunity to connect with you. Continue to level up your life. Let today be the worst you'll ever be in your life because you deserve it. You are a wonderful person for showing up today and investing with us your time, energy, and effort. And I hope that this was a catalyst for you, a change agent, so you can be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. And only compare yourself to yourself. God bless.